What's up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. Hopefully, we don't get canceled like I did on Saturday morning.
I
Like
mean, for the audience, this wasn't because he said something controversial. This is where it was just because of copyright.
stupid copyright law. Who needs those?
Hey, you watch it. That's my career you're talking about, possibly.
We haven't gotten the copyrights in IP, so I have no clue what goes on.
You're in for some fun.
So it's okay. Anyways, really solid weekend of football. A bunch of ranked matchups in college. NFL had a lot of surprises as well. Logan knows for sure how
Yes, sir.
surprises went in the NFL. But let's start off on Friday night. We had the Falcons, Air Force, 4-0, 45-20 over San Jose State. My Mountain West champion, San Jose State Spartans, sitting at 1-4 is looking very great right now. But Chevin Cordero, of course, any team that plays Air Force, the other quarterback is going to lead the game in passing. So 24 of 35 for Cordero, 68.6%, 239, one pick, 6 carries, 20 yards, and a touchdown. I think the biggest issue that I've seen with San Jose State in the couple of games I watched of them, it's just they have no defense. Like it's bad. So unfortunately for Chevin Cordero, who I still think is the best quarterback in that conference, it's just he does not get any help with his defense, turnovers or points, yards, everything. For Air Force, though, Zach Larrier has done a really nice job. New starting quarterback this year, 2 for 2 passing, 28 yards, 11 carries, 39 yards. And, of course, they just ran over the Spartan defense. Fullback Emmanuel Michel, again, crazy good game, 33 carries, 148 yards, 3 touchdowns. John Lee Eldridge as well. John Lee Eldridge the third, I should say. 10 carries, 102, 2 touchdowns. And then for San Jose State, Kyrie Robinson getting 2 scores on the ground for the Spartans, trying to help their efforts there. Leading receiver in this one was Spartans tight end Dominic Mazzotti, 5 catches, 60 yards. And defensively, of course, a lot of tackles when you're facing the triple option on the opposing side. Not going to go with any of those guys, though. I'm going to go with Air Force safety Trey Taylor, who's had a good season so far. 8 tackles, 4 solos, 1 tackle for loss, and a pick. Falcons, Air Force covers -6 easily, over 45.5, almost by themselves. On Saturday, number 2, Michigan, 31-7 over Rutgers to stay 4-0. Jim Harbaugh's first game back after his school-imposed 3-game suspension. And they look just as bad as what they have the first 3 games. So I don't think Harbaugh really mattered that much to their efforts. They still have not scored above, 31? I don't know if it's 31. I am currently checking right now, but I still don't believe they're worth number 2.
Well, they're worth number 2 in a different way.
Yeah, they haven't scored more than 35 in any of their 4 games so far against opponents that you should be scoring more than 35 points.
Yeah, I mean, this score doesn't do this justice. I mean, in the first half, this was a game. And then after that, 4th down turnover that turned into a defensive touchdown for Michigan, it started to become a rout. But, I mean, it really shouldn't have been a game. Rutgers was sticking around. And Rutgers played very well in that first half. They were stifling on defense. They were punting Michigan deep into their territory. They were having, I wouldn't say great offensive drives, but at the very least, very competent drives. Not a lot of 3-and-outs. And then the second half happened and they kind of fell apart. But, I mean, if Michigan's supposed to be the number 2 team in the nation, they didn't play like the number 2 team. They played like a 7-8 seed team.
Yeah, so it's 14-7 at half. And even after that, though, it was only 17-7 with 7 to go in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, halfway through the third quarter, Rutgers still only down 10 points. And then, like you said, the big pick six that really put Michigan on top. But, yeah, I will continue to hold firm that they do not look like, nor should they be ranked number 2. I think Texas is better. I think Florida State is better. I think Ohio State is probably better. Penn State is definitely better than Michigan.
Agreed.
Hell,
I would go as far as say maybe even Notre Dame, even though they lost. I would say Notre Dame.
Yeah, and I would also, despite USC's struggles on defense a little bit, I would probably say USC is better too. And Washington, bro, you can put a lot of teams ahead of. I think Washington,
but Michigan at 10, and I honestly wouldn't blink an eye.
Washington's probably better as well. So yeah, I don't think there's. I think we'll see. I mean, they don't play anyone. They got Nebraska this week, which won't be an issue, or shouldn't. They really don't play anyone until the Penn State game in November. I mean, you could argue that these next 2 games are going to be tough on the road. Their first 2 road games, Nebraska, and then Minnesota, I actually do think could be a trap game because Minnesota has a really good defense. They just haven't been able to score many points on offense, hence their Northwestern debacle this week. But anyways, yeah. So diving into the stats on this one, JJ McCarthy, 15 of 21, 71.4%, 214 yards, 1 touchdown, 7 carries, 51 yards. Gavin Wimsatt for Rutgers, 11 of 21, 52.4%, 180. What was that? 75 on the first throw of the game. So, yeah. And a touchdown, 1 pick, 6 carries for 28 yards. Blake Corum, he is one thing though that has looked good for Michigan. He is probably the only thing that I'll say that Michigan has actually done well is run the ball with Corum. 21 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rutgers wide receiver Christian Dremel, he led the game in receiving, 3 catches, 85 yards on that 75-yard touchdown there. And then defensively, I got to go with Michigan defensive back Mike Sandra still, 2 tackles, both solos, and the 71-yard pick 6. Michigan minus 24 pushed, under 44.5. A lot of unders this weekend. Number 4, Florida State, 31-24 over Clemson in overtime at Death Valley. This was a good win for Florida State. I was very happy that the Seminoles got this one done. Took a while. They never led until the first half of overtime, but they got it done. Their defense played outstanding most of the game, and yeah, it's a gritty win on the road, back to back.
And my narrative of the downfall of Clemson continues. It's over. Calling the autopsy.
I was surprised. Clemson did play well. I will say that. But again, it's at home, so that is one of the harder stadiums to play at, especially at night. Although this was a day game. Jordan Travis though, 21 of 37, 56.8%, 289, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. I was impressed by his toughness in this game. He was getting battered a lot of this game. Even injured his shoulder at one point. Missed. I guess he didn't really miss, but if Florida State would have gotten the ball again in the first half, he would probably not have been out there because of the shoulder injury. He had to get it checked out at halftime. But like I said, I was impressed by his toughness. Cade Klubnik did play pretty decently. 25 of 38, 65.8%, 283, 1 touchdown, 13 carries, 10 yards, a touchdown, and a fumble. The fumble, he got absolutely destroyed. that led to the Florida State game-tying touchdown. Phil Maffa led the game in rushing for Clemson, 10 carries, 69 yards, 3 catches, 32 yards. Will Shipley, the other back for Clemson, he had a 2-touchdown day, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. Florida State's wide receiver Johnny Wilson led the game in receiving, 5 for 94. 2 touchdowns for his counterpart, Keon Coleman, the Michigan State transfer. And defensively, I got to go with my guy, Kalen DeLoach, linebacker for the Seminoles. Had an outstanding game, 7 tackles, 5 solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, pass deflection, 56-yard fumble return for a touchdown. FSU covered -2, under 55.5. By the hook. Number 16, Oklahoma. The Sooners are 4-0, 20-6 over Cincinnati. And continuing our theme of kind of analyzing where these teams are a third of the way through the season here. Oklahoma, I mean, they do not – they're going to got soon. It's just a matter of what team it's going to be because they're not looking great. They didn't look that great against SMU. They didn't look that great against Cincinnati. So.
Yeah, I mean, 20 points, that's – for a team that scored like 70 points early in the season, putting up only 20 against Cincinnati is very odd. But I will say for once their defense showed up. I mean, Oklahoma's not used to a good defensive performance. But, I mean, still, this should have been at least like 40-6. 20-6 is so odd to see.
Yeah. Granted, it is a Big 12 game. And it's on the road. But still. I expect more out of Dylan Gabriel, which his stats actually don't look bad for being only a 20-6 game. 26 of 38, 68.4%, 322, 1 touchdown, 11 carries, 23 yards, a touchdown, and a fumble. Emory Jones, the Arizona State transfer for the Bearcats, 22 of 41, 53.7%, 235, 2 picks, 15 carries, 42 yards. Sooners running back Marcus Major led the game in rushing, 15 carries, 63 yards, 2 catches, 18 yards. The Michigan transfer for Oklahoma, wide receiver Andrew Anthony, leading the game in receiving, 7 for 117. Big day for him. And defensively, I had to go with my guy. I've been impressed by Oklahoma linebacker Danny Stutzman so far this season, 13 tackles, 7 solos, 1 sack, 3.5 tackles for loss. Oklahoma -13, covered by 1, and the under 58 easily. Here's the game. Number 10, Oregon.
Let's just soak it in.
Kicking the absolute piss out of number 19, Colorado, 42-6. I was loving every single second of this game. I told y'all on Friday this was how this game was going to go. I thought it was going to get a lot worse, but Oregon kind of pulled the reins back in the second half and had some dance parties on the sideline, which was fun to see. But, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Colorado's defense is not great, and their offensive line has let Shedeur get beat up a lot, so it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, the vibes were off, I guess you could say. My 5 pick was not doing well. You know what? I bought into the Kool-Aid. My bad on that one. But, I mean, yeah, you kind of had that feeling, especially after the video of the coach, Oregon's head coach's pregame speech. You're like, oh, crap. They're set. They're ready to go. And they came out firing. It was really impressive. I mean,
yeah,
there's not much else to say. Colorado just, as Dion said, good old butt whooping. You know, they just got destroyed.
Yeah, and they're going to get destroyed this weekend as well.
Who are they facing? I forgot.
USC.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Team with an even better offense on paper.
Yeah. Bo Nix was just excellent. The only blemish, the 1 interception, but 28 of 33, 84.8%, 276, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 1 rushing touchdown as well. Ty Thompson came in later then, completed both of his balls for 6 yards, 3 carries for 21 yards. Shedeur Sanders, 23 of 33, 69.7%, 159, 1 touchdown. Got that late to avoid the shutout. Oregon running back Bucky Irving was really solid as well. 10 carries, 89 yards, 3 receptions for 19 yards. And I just wanted to check on how many the yards per play on offense for Oregon. Do we think it is over 10? No, it's not. It's around 7 something because they had 8.1 yards per pass and 6.3 yards per rush. They ran for 240 in this game.
Damn.
Yeah. Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin was fantastic. 8 catches, 126, 2 touchdowns. And defensive player of the game, I got to go with the bottom guy there, Oregon defensive end Jordan Birch. 4 tackles, 1 solo, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. Oregon minus 21 covers easily. Under 70. Y'all said 70 over on Friday. What happened?
I think we all expected Colorado to put at least a couple more touchdowns in the end zone. I think that's what it was.
Look who picked the lone wolf, number 11, Utah. 14-7 over number 22, UCLA. This game was as boring as it gets. Cam Rising did not play, which concerned me. But
explains a lot.
It also did not concern me because Utah was playing at home, and they've won like 15 of the last 16 at home. So, yeah. The first pass of the game for UCLA was pick 6, so that made me feel better. Dante Moore, though, for UCLA, 15 of 35, 42.9%, 234, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and a fumble. Nate Johnson for the Utes, 9 of 17, 52.9%, 117, 1 touchdown, 1 fumble. So, yeah, really unimpressive quarterback play. UCLA scored with like 5 minutes to go, I think, in the game, and then got the ball back, actually, with a couple seconds to go. Just couldn't do anything with it as Moore got sacked. He was sacked a lot. I think 8 sacks for the Utes in this game.
Yeah, they were all over him.
7 sacks for Utah in this one. Leading rusher, Utah's running back Jalen Glover, 25 carries, 86 yards, 1 catch for 17 yards. Leading receiver was he's listed as a running back. UCLA's running back Carson Ryan. I don't think he's a running back, but pretty sure he's a tight end. But ESPN says he's a running back, so whatever. But 3 catches for 69 yards. That was the leading receiver. And like I said, 2 guys get co-defensive player of the game here. Utah defensive end Jonah Ellis, 10 tackles, 5 solos, 3.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. Just a monster. And then Utah linebacker Karene Reed, 9 tackles, 4 solos, half tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections, 21-yard pick 6. Utah minus 3 covered. Under 50.5 easily. Number 13, Alabama, 24-10 over number 15, Ole Miss. Yeah, man, I thought Ole Miss had it. The issue was that they just couldn't convert in the red zone. Like, they didn't score touchdowns, especially early. They literally drove the ball down the field and should have scored, kicked a field goal. And then their second drive, I believe, they go for it on like 4th and 7 or something like that at the Bama like 40-yard line. And I'm like, bro, just kick it deep. Like, I don't care if you only net 20 yards and they're set up at the 20. Like, don't give Alabama momentum. Like,
no. And the thing was, like, up to that point, Alabama wasn't playing well either. It wasn't a great game offensively for either team. So putting them back, even just 20 yards, is just, I felt like would have been enough to just stifle them. But they just didn't.
Yeah. And Lane Kiffin kind of took the onus on himself on why they lost this game, which I agree. He made some really bad play calls and some really bad situational decisions as well. So, yeah, all on Lane Kiffin. But Jackson Dart, though, led the game in passing, 20 of 35, 57.1%, 244, one pick, one rushing touchdown. Jalen Milroe, super efficient and did make some plays, and this is why he should have been the starting quarterback. He should have continued to be the starting quarterback. I mean, he gives you the best chance to win over Ty Simpson and Tyler Buckner. 17 to 21, 81%, 225, one touchdown, one pick, 16 carries, 28 yards. The big key, though, to Alabama's success was the ground game. Jace McClellan, 17 carries, 105 yards, one touchdown, two receptions for 12 yards. Started to wear on Ole Miss in the second half where they just started chunking them on the ground. Ole Miss wide receiver Dayton Wade led the game in receiving, 5 catches, 88 yards. And then defensively, I mean, take your pick. There's a bunch of sacks in this game, especially on the Alabama side. Once Alabama got up, I think by just like one touchdown when it was 17 to 10, I mean, the Bama pass rush just opened up. Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, and others started eating the Ole Miss D-line, O-line. That's who I'm going to go with, though, is Dallas Turner for the Tide, linebacker, 5 tackles, 3 solos, 2 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. Quoted to be the next Bama pass rusher to come out of there following Will Anderson from last year. Bama cover -7, under 56. Number 18, Duke, the Devs, getting it done on the road, 41-7 over UConn. My guy, Riley Leonard, nice game, 23 of 34, 67.6%, 248, 1 touchdown, 4 carries, 30 yards, a rushing score as well. Taquan Roberson for the Huskies, 13 of 28, 46.4%, 114, 1 rushing touchdown. Victor Rosa for the Huskies led the game in rushing, 14 carries, 68 yards. Duke's running back Jordan Waters had 2 scores on the ground in an otherwise unimpressive day. Duke wide receiver Jordan Moore led the game in receiving, 8 catches, 86 yards, a touchdown. And defensively, I'm going to go with the bottom guy there, Duke defensive tackle Dwayne Carter, 2 tackles and a 26-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Devs, big game this week, covered -22, over 45. They get Notre Dame at home in North Carolina.
Good luck.
Number 20, Miami, also 4-0, 41-7 as well over Temple. In Philadelphia, E.J. Warner, Kurt's son, 22 of 39, 56.4%, 241 touchdown, 2 picks, and a fumble. Quincy Patterson came in as well and played a little bit, 1 of 3, 33.3%, 28 yards. Tyler Van Dyke was stellar, to say the least, 17 of 24, 70.8%, 220, 3 touchdowns, 2 carries for 39 yards. Henry Paris Jr. had another great game for the Canes, 16 carries, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. Temple wide receiver Ahmad Anderson Jr., he led the game in receiving, 10 catches, 117 yards. And then you had one of Van Dyke's favorite receivers, Xavier Restrepo, catching 2 scores on the day. Defensively, I think I'm going to go with Miami corner Corey Couch, 3 tackles, 2 solos, 1 pass deflection, 2 picks off of Warner. Miami -23 covered, over 46.5. It's a team that not many people I don't think are talking about in the ACC right now. Kansas, 38-27 over BYU. Your Cougs run has come.
Cougars, man. My Mormons betrayed me.
I was highly impressed. I watched this game. Keaton Slovis, despite sub 60% completion, he impressed me. This was really the first time I watched BYU this year, and I liked what I saw from Slovis. 30 of 51, 58.8%, 357, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Jalen Daniels, though, I told you he's the better quarterback, and he was in this game. 14 of 19, 73.7%, 130, 3 touchdowns, 9 carries, 54 yards. Buoyed by setups on defense all day, though, mostly. Getting short fields, which was nice. Kansas running back Devin Neal led the game in rushing, 17 carries, 91 yards, 3 catches for 14 yards. BYU wide receiver Chase Roberts, he led the game in receiving, 5 catches, 89 yards. You had BYU wide receiver Keelan Marion have a 6-yard rushing touchdown in this one. And defensively, I got to go with the 2 guys at the bottom. Defensive touchdowns from Kansas safety Kenny Logan Jr., 4 tackles, 3 solos, 2 pass deflections, 30-yard pick 6. And Kansas corner Kobe Bryant, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 1 tackle for loss, and a 22-yard fumble returned for a touchdown. So that also helped the offense a little bit. Getting two scores on defense. Kansas -9 covered, over 55.5. Number 23, Tennessee, getting back on the winning track, 45-14 blowout at UTSA. Joe Milton III for the Vols here, 18 of 31, 58.1%, 209, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries, 89 yards, and a rushing touchdown. So big day on the ground for him. Did not know that Frank Harris was not going to play for UTSA. I don't know if he's hurt or what, but he did not play. Their veteran quarterback. Eddie Lee Marburger, I believe, got the start. I'm not exactly sure because they both have similar amount of attempts, but 12 of 21 for Marburger, 57.1%, 61 yards and a pick. But how about Josh? I believe it's Josh McCown's son, Owen McCown, 18 of 20, 90%, 172 touchdowns, a pick, and a fumble. That's a pretty good day for the UTSA quarterback there, following in his dad's footsteps. Don't remember where Josh McCown went to school, but anyways, Tennessee running back Dylan Sampson led the game in rushing, 11 carries, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 20-yard reception as well. And a UTSA wide receiver, Joshua Cephas, leading the game in receiving, 7 catches, 58 yards, a touchdown. Defensively, I'm going to go with Tennessee defensive back Tamarian McDonald, 7 tackles, 5 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a pick. Tennessee -24 covered, over under the total 59 pushed. Liberty, how about the 4-0 Flames? Hugh.
Coming out firing.
Hugh, man. They don't need Hugh Freeze. 38-6 over FIU. I have been impressed by Liberty. I haven't really been able to watch a bunch of their games yet, but I think I'm going to watch one this weekend. Jamie Chadwell, the former Coastal Carolina coach, coming over, leading this team. Caden Salter, though, for the Flames, 11 of 21, 52.4%, 156, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 9 carries, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble. For FIU, Grayson James, I believe, got injured in this game. Otherwise, I don't think he would have had so little of a stat line. 2 of 3, 66.7%, 14 yards, 4 carries, 11 yards. Keon Jenkins came in then, 9 of 21, 42.9%, 133, 1 pick, 1 rushing touchdown, and a fumble. Liberty running back Quentin Cooley, the Louisville transfer. Big game for him. 12 carries, 102 yards, and 1 11-yard reception. And another 100-yard rusher for Liberty was running back Billy Lucas. 11 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. FIU wide receiver Chris Mitchell led the game in receiving. 4 catches, 89 yards. And my defensive player of the game, I'm going to go with the top guy, Liberty linebacker Tyron Dupree. 9 tackles, 8 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. Liberty minus 10 covers easily, under 54. Number 12, LSU, 34-31 squeaker against Arkansas. Did not see this one being that close after Arkansas lost to BYU last week. But Jaden Daniels and the Tigers getting it done. 20 of 29, 69%, 320, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 10 carries, 36 yards. For KJ Jefferson, the Razorbacks, 21 of 31, 67.7%, 289, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 16 carries for 48 yards. LSU running back Logan Diggs, the Notre Dame transfer, 14 carries, 97 yards, and a 3-yard reception to lead the game in rushing. LSU, big days for a couple receivers. Brian Thomas Jr., 5 catches, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors continues to just light up the SEC right now. 8 receptions, 130 yards, 2 more touchdowns after he had 3 last week. And then how about Arkansas? Tight end Luke Haas getting a 100-yard day, 6 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. Defensively, bottom guy for me, LSU linebacker Greg Penn III. 12 tackles, 3 solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. Arkansas covers easily, plus 17.5. That's our first dog to cover here. Over 55.
Hey, my other Cougars. This is what I've been waiting for, baby. Woo!
Number 21, Washington State stays undefeated, 38-35 over number 14, Oregon State. And, bro, I mean, Cam Ward just destroyed the Beavers.
Dog.
28 of 34, 82.4%, 404 yards, 4 touchdowns, 9 carries, 14 yards, a rushing touchdown, and a fumble. I will say, though, for how badly DJ Uiagalelei played, he did bring them back, and he brought them within an onside kick of tying the game or going to win it. So did have to give him props for his fourth quarter play and the Beavers' defense in the fourth quarter as well. But, yeah, DJU here, 17 of 34, 50%, 198, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 9 carries, 61 yards, and a rushing score. Oregon State, running back Deshaun Fenwick, big day on the ground, 11 carries, 101 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 receptions for 17 yards. Washington State got 2 massive days from their wideouts. UNLV transfer Kyle Williams, 7 receptions, 174 and a touchdown. And then how about Josh Kelly, 8 catches, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns for him. I wish the NFL's Josh Kelly would have played that well for my fantasy team this week. It's okay. I still won, but I'm just saying Josh Kelly sucks for the Chargers. Defensively, I'm going to go with Washington State defensive back Cam Lampkin. 7 tackles, 4 solos, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections. Washington State plus 3 wins outright, over 58.5. Number 25, Florida, 22-7 over Charlotte. And this is the other team that I don't understand why they're ranked where they're ranked. They moved up this week. How does that happen?
How do you only score 22 against Charlotte and they're like, yeah, you go up? Like,
yeah, they went up to 22, I believe.
No way, dude. Come on.
I'm like, bro, Florida is not that good. They're not a top 25 team. So what? They beat Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't won in the swamp since 09 or whatever it is, 07. I don't even remember what the year is. But regardless, Florida's not that good. Just saying. It's not my Georgia bias. It's just facts. 20 of 23 for Graham Mertz, 87%, 259, 1 touchdown and a fumble. And I see that stat line too, and I'm like, bro, how did you not score more than 22? You're completing 87%. I don't get it. But Charlotte forced, I think it was 5 field goals for Florida. Jalen Jones for Charlotte, 11 of 16, 68.8%, 111, 21 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown. And then Trexler Ivy came in for the Niners, then 3 of 9, 33.3%, 22 yards. Florida running back Montrell Johnson Jr. Led the game in rushing outside of Jones, 16 carries, 63 yards, 2 receptions, -1 yard. Florida wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, 100-yard day, 6 catches, 104 yards, and probably the catch of the year. I mean, definitely the catch of the year to this point, I think. Just ridiculous. I don't know if I can pull it up real quick or not, but yes, I can. Maybe we'll get shut down by copyrights because we're showing game film.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, let's go to this catch here. We'll do even more copyrightable stuff and have the sound on.
Uh-oh. Should we just be talking over the play?
Oh, what a...
And
yet he's 4 for 4. Going to the air again. That pass is high. Oh, what a one-handed grab by Pearsall. And then...
My goodness.
I think the most impressive part is not just getting his hand up; it's getting just flattened by 2 defensive players at the as he's making the catch.
I thought they were going to show the replay part of this video. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's just. I don't understand why he had to do it. There was plenty of time to get your second hand up.
Yeah, but I want to be flashy. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways. Definitely to this point, it's catch of the year. We'll see what happens down the road. But defensively, I'm going to go with Charlotte linebacker Demetrius Knight II, 8 tackles, 4 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. Charlotte plus 28 covers easily, under 48.5. Go Dogs, number 1 Georgia, 49-21 over UAB. I kind of got mad that we allowed 21, but the third touchdown was like right at the end of the game, so it's okay. But anyways, Carson Beck, this is the best that Carson Beck has looked. And I'm very happy about that going into their first road game this weekend at Auburn, rivalry game as well. So, but yeah, Beck, 22 of 32, 68.8%, 338, 3 touchdowns and a rushing score. Brock Vandegrift came in then 4 of 5, 80%, 37 yards and an 18-yard run. Gunnar Stockton has not looked very good in the little bit of game time he has gotten this year so far. 2 of 3, 66.7%, 19 yards and a pick. Jacob Zeno, though, for UAB, played pretty well. 32 of 51, 62.7%, 250, 2 touchdowns and a pick. 8 carries, 22 yards of rushing score also. Georgia continues, though, to run the ball well. Running back Dejon Edwards is the catalyst to that attack. 12 carries, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 6-yard catch. And then finally, Brock Bowers has a big game. I've been waiting for him to break out again, and got it in this one. 9 catches, 121 yards, 2 scores for Bowers on the night. Defensively, there wasn't a lot to go on, so I'm going to go with Georgia defensive back Jonell Aguero. 4 tackles, all of them solos, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection. I can tell you, I had never heard of that kid before I put him on this slide. UAB plus 40 covered. Of course they did. I told you they were going to cover. Like, Georgia doesn't cover those big spreads. I don't know why they even set them that high. Over 56 easily. 70 in that game. Number 3, Texas, 38-6, romping over the Baylor Bears. Quinn Ewers was really solid, 18-23, 78.3%, 293, 1 touchdown, 5 carries, 16 yards, and a rushing score. And I said this, Sawyer Robertson is not the guy for Baylor, man. He's just not playing very well. 20 of 35, 57.1%, 203, 1 pick. RJ Martinez for Baylor, 9 of 18, 50%, 102, 3 carries, 22 yards. So, I mean, at least Martinez didn't turn the ball over. Like, you know, I don't know. Baylor's got to figure something out because Blake Shapen isn't walking back in anytime soon. I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL. I'm pretty sure he's not coming back this year.
That's rough.
Texas, though, again, another great rushing performance by running back Jonathan Brooks, 18 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an 18-yard reception. Texas tight end Jatavian Sanders leading the game in receiving, 5 catches, 110 yards. And defensively, I'm going to go with Baylor linebacker Matt Jones in the loss, 8 tackles, 7 solos, 2 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. Texas, minus 17.5, covered under 49.5.
Uh-oh.
Number 6, Ohio State, 17. Number 9, Notre Dame.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean,
who lone wolf this? This guy.
Does it matter, though? Does it? I mean, I don't think Ohio State should have moved up like they did.
But a win's a win.
But anyways, yeah, they're still not better than Notre Dame. I don't care what the scoreboard said. They're not better than Notre Dame. I'll tell you that. They're not better than a couple other teams as well, just like going back to the Michigan talk. And I can tell you, Ryan Day, that you're still not tougher than Notre Dame or many other teams. You can say you're tough all you want, but go play a top 10 defense like Penn State and see what happens, which we will. We'll see. We'll see what happens in a couple weeks. I'm just saying.
Hey, a win's a win still.
Anyways, Kyle McCord played like crap. 21-37, 56.8%, 240. And he was celebrating like he actually did something to make them win this game. He did not. The running game did that. Sam Hartman, I was disappointed a little bit, but I still think Sam Hartman, unlike Kyle McCord, actually did something to get his team to win despite having less yards than McCord. 17
like what, failing on 2 fourth down conversions? Fantastic job, Sam. Really good work.
17-25, 68%, 175, 1 touchdown. Those were rushing attempts that that's not what Sam Hartman does. So can't really fault him. That's play calling. Ohio State running back Travion Henderson leading the game in rushing, 14 carries, 104 yards, a touchdown. What was it? 60 on the rushing touchdown.
Something like that.
Most of that yard. Notre Dame stuffed him up most of the night, other than the touchdown run. Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka leading the game in receiving, 7 catches, 96 yards. And defensively, there really was not a lot of stats in this game. So I'm going to go with Ohio State defensive tackle Tyleek Williams, 4 tackles, 3 solos, 1 tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. Ohio State -3 pushed, under 55.5 easily.
Very easy.
And like I said, this is how you actually win a game. Number 7, Penn
You
State.
beat Iowa. Relax.
31-0 over number 24, Iowa, in the whiteout, Happy Valley. Quarterback Drew Aller, career day for him, not yards-wise, but touchdowns. 25 of 37, 67.6%, 166, 4 touchdowns, 8 carries for 22 yards, and the streak of 30-point games continues for Penn State. I don't have the exact stat, but I do know it's been quite a while since they haven't scored. I think it's like 8 or 9 straight games that they've scored 30 plus, something like that. Bo Prebula came in then late for Aller, 1 of 3, 33.3%, 18 yards, 8 carries, 55 yards. And for Iowa, Cade McNamara sucks. 5 of 14, 35.7%, 42 yards and a fumble. I mean, that's rough. Penn State running back Katron Allen led the game in rushing, 21 carries, 72 yards, 3 receptions for 8 yards. Penn State wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith leading the game in receiving, 8 catches, 66 yards, a touchdown. And tight end Tyler Warren for Penn State catching 2 scores on his 2 receptions for 9 yards. Defensively, I want to go with I got to go with Iowa. I mean, the massive tackle numbers by linebacker Jay Higgins is who I'm going with. 18 tackles in this game, 10 of which were solo. So only about half of his tackles solo, but still 18 total tackles. That's crazy. Penn State covered -14 easily, under 38.5. Mizzou, the Tigers, 4-0 over the Memphis Tigers, 34-27. Brady Cook was just fantastic, 18 of 25, 72%, 341, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries, 17 yards. And for Memphis, I mean, if Seth Hennigan doesn't have the turnovers, I mean, they probably win the game. 31 of 47, 66%, 316, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 9 carries, 21 yards. Some excellent quarterback play in this one, and I did not watch a second of it. Mizzou, though, running back Cody Schrader, big day for him. 14 carries, 123 yards, a touchdown, and a fumble. You had a big all-purpose night from Memphis running back Blake Watson, 18 carries, 47 yards on the ground, 9 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. And then just crazy performances receiving for both sides. Luther Burden III he's becoming a star. I mean, I watched him play against Kansas State when they upset them in Columbia and had a couple amazing catches and runs. And then this game here, 10 catches, 177 yards. I mean, he's like Tyreek Hill light, to be honest, when you watch him. He's probably close to as fast as Tyreek. Just probably got to get more route running worked into his repertoire, but he's still got a year, I believe. He's a true sophomore, so he's got one more year before he's draft eligible. And then Rock Taylor for Memphis here, 7 catches, 143 yards, big night for him also. Defensively, there wasn't a lot. I'm going to go with Missouri defensive back Chris Abrams-Drain, 7 tackles, all of them solos, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, and a pick. Mizzou -6.5 covers by the hook and over 52. Number 17, North Carolina. The Heels are 4-0, 41-24 over Pitt. Wasn't as trappy as I thought it was going to be.
It was kind of close for a little bit. Pitt kind of stuck around, but then North Carolina was like, wait a minute, we have an offense. And then just
right. And Drake May was stellar. 22 of 30, 73.3%, 296, 1 touchdown, 2 rushing scores as well. No turnovers, the big thing I see. For Pitt, Phil Dracovic, the BC transfer, 11 of 15, 73.3%, 109 yards. The Penn State transfer, Christian Veilleux, came in then 7 of 18, 38.9%, 85 yards, 2 picks and a fumble. So not a very good game for Veilleux there. Pitt running back Rodney Hammond Jr., though, led the game in rushing, 14 carries, 83 yards, touchdown, 3 receptions for 11 yards. And then big night for UNC wide receiver J.J. Jones, the Triple J, 6 catches, 117 yards. And defensively, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. I got to go with UNC defensive back Elijah Huzzy, 1 tackle, 1 pass deflection, 2 picks on defense, and then all he does on special teams is return a punt 52 yards to the house.
Was he Deion Sanders in his prime?
And then also on the other side for Pitt, wide receiver Kenny Johnson, 100-yard kick return to the house. UNC covered -7 over 49.5. Logan got us, man.
Ugh.
Kansas,
I believe
44-31 over UCF. The issue that we had was that John Rice Plumlee didn't play in this game, and I had no clue that he wasn't going to play. Otherwise, I would have picked Kansas State easily. Timmy McClain, though, did not play very badly. The USF transfer, 14-24, 58.3%, 264, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 12 carries, 15 yards. Will Howard is just really good at football. 27-42, 64.3%, 255, 1 pick, 7 carries, 64 yards, 2 rushing scores on the night. And he got a little bit of help, just a little bit, from his running back, DJ Giddens. I mean, that's just
holy crap.
A ridiculous stat line. 30 carries, 207 yards. That's 6.9 per carry. And then all he does is put 4 in the zone, 4 touchdowns on the night. And to top it all off, all he does is go and lead the game in receiving. 8 catches, or not lead the game, lead Kansas State in receiving. 8 catches, 86 yards. So he touched the ball 38 times, 293 total yards and 4 touchdowns. That'll do it.
That'll do. That will do.
The 2 touchdowns for UCF's running back RJ Harvey on the night, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. UCF wide receiver Kobe Hudson leading the game in receiving, 5 catches, 138 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns. And then defensive player of the game, I'm going to go with Kansas State defensive end Khalid Duke, having a good season. 2 tackles, both of them solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. Kansas State -6, they covered over 53.5, 75. A lot more points in this one. Number 8, Washington, 59-32 over Cal. It got scary for the top 10 teams in the Pac-12. Well, I shouldn't say that because Oregon was number 10 last week. But I guess for the top 10 teams playing at night, it got a little scary for Washington and USC. This one, though, very small print. I'm going to have to lean in a little bit, I guess. But, I mean, dude, Michael Penix just continues to light everyone up. 19-25, 76%, 304, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Disappointing day, though, is the first game of the season, not 400 yards. So, a little bit of disappointment there.
Obvious draft bust. Definitely don't draft him so he'll fall to the Vikings. Please.
Dylan Morris came in for the Huskies later than 4 of 7, 57.1%, 85 yards. For Cal, Sam Jackson, the 5th, is their normal starter. He didn't, I don't know. I think he got hurt in this game. 10 of 14, 71.4%, 156, 1 touchdown. The NC State transfer, Ben Finley, coming in for him. 17 of 32, 53.1%, 207, 2 touchdowns, but 3 picks on the night. 4 carries, 14 yards. Washington running back Dylan Johnson, the Mississippi State transfer, led the game in rushing, 10 carries, 66 yards, a touchdown, and a 9-yard reception. A lot of other touchdowns there. And then, of course, the Washington receivers continue to just light everyone up. Jalen Polk led the game in receiving, 8 for 127, 2 touchdowns. And then Rome Odunze continues to be fantastic. 5 catches, 125, 2 touchdowns. And, oh, by the way, he had an 83-yard punt return touchdown as well.
Because why not?
And defensively for Washington, everyone's scoring touchdowns. It's like Oprah. You get a touchdown. Linebacker Edefwan Olafosio there for the Huskies. My defensive player of the game. 3 tackles, 2 solos, and a 45-yard pick 6. Washington did cover, though. -21.
Not bad.
Over 55.5 by themselves. We had 91 in that game. Number 5, USC. Again, like I said, a little scary. 42-28 over Arizona State. Kayla Williams was, dude, I mean, he's going to win the Heisman again. I mean,
at this point. Hey, what about Penix, though? Maybe.
Well, yeah, that's the game. That's the game we have in November is USC Washington.
That might be the Heisman versus Heisman
right
game.
Right, that's going to determine who wins it. 20-31, 64.5, 322, 3 touchdowns, 9 carries for 10 yards, and 2. I mean, the man doesn't just throw the ball into the end zone; he also runs it in.
I can't wait for the Bears to ruin him. It's gonna be so great.
So the craziest thing is that Kayla Williams is not top 5 in yards right now. Oh, that's total yards, I guess. Or no, this is passing yards. Yeah, Caleb Williams is 14th right now in passing yards, but he didn't play like the whole second half of the Stanford game.
Yeah, I don't think NFL scouts really care.
But when you look at touchdowns, though, he is second to Penix in passing touchdowns. Scoring wise, let me see what the touchdowns look like here. Well, why would they do that? That doesn't even make sense. That's just receiving and rushing touchdowns. That's stupid.
Ooh.
Get your stuff together, ESPN, because I want to see total touchdowns. But anyways, yeah, Caleb Williams is a beast. Like I was saying on Saturday Scout School before I got canceled. He is a very good player. Yeah, so he total touchdowns this year. Caleb Williams has 18. 18 total touchdowns in 4 games. Drew Pine for Arizona State, 21-36, 58.3%, 221, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and a fumble. USC running back Marshawn Lloyd, finally a big game for him. 14 carries, 154 yards. The South Carolina transfer there. 1 fumble, 1 reception, -4 yards. And then how about the Sacramento State transfer for Arizona State? Cameron Scadaboo, doing it all. 20 carries, 111 yards, a touchdown. 4 receptions, 79 yards, a touchdown.
Doing his job.
And then he also throws the ball. 2 of 3 passing for 42 yards. He didn't score a passing touchdown, though, unfortunately.
That's his teammate's fault.
USC wide receiver Brendan Rice, the son of Mr. Jerry Rice. The Colorado transfer also. 7 catches, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns, leading the game in receiving. And defensively, I'm going to go with the bottom guy there, USC defensive end, Solomon Byrd, 5 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. Arizona State plus 34.5, easily covers. Over 62, also relatively easy, 70 in that game. FCS game of the week, we all lost. The Vandals got us. They took your state.
Vandals and their crappy
They took it personally, Jimmy.
They heard me talk about their crappy stadium, and they were mad.
Yeah. Number 7, Idaho, 36-27 over number 4, Sacramento State. It's actually closer than that. They got a 6-yard fumble return for a touchdown on the last play of the game when Sac State was doing all the laterals. But, yeah, Caden Bennett for the Hornets there, 15-29, 51.7%, 236, 2 touchdowns. Giovanni McCoy was just fantastic for the Vandals, 15-21, 71.4%, 234, 2 touchdowns, 11 carries, 32 yards, and a fumble. Big day on the ground for Idaho running back Anthony Woods, 24 carries, 117 yards, a touchdown, and a 3-yard reception as well. 2 touchdowns on the day for Sac State running back Marcus Fulcher. Leading the game in receiving, Sac State wide receiver Jared Gibson, 3 catches, 91 yards. And then, like I said, there wasn't really anything defensively to talk about, but how about the tight end for Idaho, Teron Ivey Jr., 2 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown on offense. And then he was the guy that on that lateral stuff returned the ball 6 yards for a fumble return touchdown. Idaho minus 2.5. They covered over 57.5.
To the NFL.
I should have switched my pick, man.
Honestly, though, man.
Minshew mania is real.
Yeah, I don't know. That yards per attempt thing. He did a lot of dink and doinks, and they really benefited from Baltimore being very injured. I will say that.
Colts 22-19 in overtime. Matt Gay kicking the game winner there. After Justin Tucker missed the game winner in regulation.
Hell is frozen over.
61. He put it short by a couple feet. But yeah, I thought he was going to do it again. When I saw them line up for 61 at the end of regulation, I was like, bro, no way is he going to bomb another one. But he did not, unfortunately, for my fantasy team. Anyways, Lamar did what I knew he doesn't do, and that's throw the ball. 22 of 31, 71%, 202 yards. Okay, it's not a bad stat line, but again, he didn't win the game throwing the ball, did he? 14 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble on the ground. So big rushing day for Lamar. Also a big rushing day on a lot of my benches was Zach Moss for the Colts. 30 carries, 122 yards, 2 receptions, 23 yards, and a touchdown. The receiving touchdown that he had was just fantastic. Beautiful ball by Gardner on the wheel route. But yeah, I did not think that
those real routes.
I did not think that Moss was going to have that big of a day. The Ravens were a top 10 rush defense. So that's why I sat him in a bunch of leagues. Some leagues I had to start him, but worked out. Leading the game in receiving, Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr., 9 catches, 77 yards on 11 targets, making me feel bad for trading him in my dynasty league earlier this summer.
Who'd you trade him for?
I think that trade was not bad actually. So I traded. Yeah, no, it's. I still think I win. I traded Michael Pittman for Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson. Like,
oh, that's not bad at all.
Like what? I mean, and then I turned TJ Hawkinson into George Pickens and a second-round pick.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So TJ's making me eat a little bit of that right now.
I do have TJ on my fantasy team. Feeling good.
Anyways, Josh Downs, I knew I should have started him, and if I would have started him instead of Sky Moore, I would have won my fantasy matchup this week. 8 catches, 57 yards, 12 targets for him. Double-digit target day for Zay Flowers as well, 8 for 48 on 10 targets. And defensively, I mean, take your pick. I am going to pick Ravens safety Kyle Hamilton, though. 9 tackles, 7 solos, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass selection, 3 QB hits. The safety that's having 3 sacks.
He reminded me of Harrison Smith. Like, he plays like Harrison Smith on the Vikings. Like, he's fun. He's all over the place. He gets to the quarterback. He hits hard. He's not the greatest in coverage, but he's at very least responsible. And, I mean, that's what Harrison Smith has been basically his whole career. So, I mean, Ravens got a good guy. And to this day, I'm still pissed that the Vikings traded back and didn't select him. I don't know why we did that. Like, wow. I was hammering the table for Kyle Hamilton. I was like, listen, we need more defensive back help. Kyle Hamilton's the best safety out there. Pair him with Harrison Smith. You got some deadly guys out there, and we didn't. But well, I trust.
They do have that Notre Dame connection there.
Yeah, I know.
Colts plus 7.5, winning outright under 44. Browns just beating up the Titans, 27-3. Deshaun Watson's best game as a Brown by far. 27.
He did throw it backwards though. It was great.
81.8%, 289, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries, 16 yards. And, I mean, I could have told you it was going to be his best game as a Brown. The Titans' secondary sucks. Like,
really bad.
They're so bad. I don't know how the Saints only beat them by 1 point, but that's beside the point. Ryan Tannehill is not a good quarterback, as you said, week 1, Jimmy.
This is his last season. It's done. It's over. I think this is the swan song of Ryan Tannehill's career, and it's not a fun song.
13 to 25, 52%, 104 yards. But unfortunately, though, for Tannehill, it's not his fault, really.
No, it's really not. That's a
like
sad
he doesn't
part.
have time at all.
His only weapon is his running back, and his running back did nothing today. Like, if Derrick Henry doesn't do anything, who does he throw to? DeAndre Hopkins? He's okay at this point in his career, and who else? It's no one.
Well, how about everyone picking up Jerome Ford? They're lucky that he scored twice in fantasy.
I tried.
Pierre Strong led the game in rushing.
Dude, I tried. I had Nick Chubb. I tried to get Jerome Ford. Then I tried to get Kareem Hunt, but I settled on Jerick McKinnon. But he did all right. He did the job. I got the win this week.
Yeah.
Scored twice.
Pierre Strong, though, led the game in rushing, 6 carries, 27 yards. Jerome Ford did score twice, though, like I mentioned, once on the ground, once through the air. That is what Jerome Ford owners are now saying, because they're like, oh, bro, but he scored like 20 points. I was like, yeah, because he scored twice.
Hey, I mean, he's a red zone weapon. At the very least, you can say, hey, he's good in the red zone. He punches it in when you need him to.
If he does not score twice, he has
like 3-4 points.
7.1 points.
Oh yeah, because of receptions.
Yeah. Amari Cooper, though, does actually get you points in fantasy. 7 receptions, 116 yard touchdown on 8 targets. And defensively, Myles Garrett. That's
obvious choice.
That's the quote. Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
Dude, he just annihilated the Titans' offense.
Have you seen just how good this defense is? Like, holy crap, it's scary.
5 tackles, 4 solos, 3.5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 5 QB hits.
Dude.
Yeah.
This Browns team, look out. They look all right.
That was Logan's defensive player of the year.
Hey, I think you and I had Watt, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna be a great man. Great defensive
looking good.
It's gonna be a great one. But yeah.
Browns -3.5 covered easily under 38.
Hey, cool story from this game I heard. Kevin Stefanski, after the game, personally drove to Nick Chubb and gave him a game ball. Class act by Stefanski. Loved him as an offensive coordinator for the Vikings, and wishing Nick Chubb a speedy recovery. All right, let's move on to the biggest massacre.
I was having an absolute field day watching.
You were blowing up that group chat.
Dolphins 70-20 over the Broncos. I mean,
damn.
Was it tied for the second most points in NFL history?
I think in
they're tied for the third most points, I think, in NFL history. Second most yards in NFL history. They had 700. Wait, let me get the exact stat here.
Didn't they have like 300 passing and 300 rushing? It was just absurd numbers.
Yeah. So they had 726 total yards, 376 passing, 350 rushing. They ran for 8.1 yards per carry.
Guess who had a chain on his fantasy bench? It's a
Chan now. It's a Chan.
A Chan? I thought it was a chain.
Yeah. No.
I had him on the bench, but I still won.
He clarified. Yeah, he told the reporters this week in his media, he's like, it's a Chan, not a chain.
He didn't tell me.
No, people were saying it a chain. It's a Chan. A Chan. Yeah, a Chan.
But yeah. 50 fantasy points. Had him on the bench. I still won, so it's okay. But man, I would have demolished if I put this man in the starting lineup.
Well, in a standard league, it is not as much as it could be, but the Tua to Tyreek connection still gets you about 60 points a week. So
the craziest part too, they didn't have Waddle.
Right.
They didn't have their second best wide receiver. Their second best wide receiver was freaking Robbie Chosen, and he had a touchdown.
Well, he doesn't even really play usually.
Well, stat-wise.
Braxton Berrios is their next guy, but yeah. But yeah, Tua, I mean, yeah. I every week I feel like I'm saying this, but I try to tell people like this was gonna happen this year. Like the Dolphins were the team in the AFC, and Tua is the guy. And here it is. We're 3 weeks in, and they are just annihilating people. 23 of 26, 88.5%, 309, 4 touchdowns. And the crazy Mike White even comes in, bro. And he throws a touchdown. Like 2 of 2, 100%, 67 yards, touchdown. Mike White, perfect passer rating. Look at that.
Wasn't he the one that threw it to Robbie Chosen? Just
yeah,
aired it out, and he was just wide open. No one's there.
I was disappointed though. People kept talking about, well, why didn't you go for the record? And they were like, wow, we don't want to humiliate Denver. I would have been like, bro, we're scoring another touchdown. We're getting the record. I wouldn't have cared if I was Mike McDaniel. I'd have been like, no, bro, we're going for it. Like, we want to get the record.
Yeah, what's the difference between 70 and like 73 or 70 and 77? There's no difference.
I mean, if they would have kicked the field goal, they would have tied the record at 73.
Yeah.
They would have had to score a touchdown to get the.
And let's be real, it's Sean Payton. He deserves zero respect. That douchebag deserves to be fired out of a cannon.
Bro, like what do you do? Like the thing is though, like Russ did not play bad.
That's was the craziest thing
for Denver. Like
you look at the stat line, he had 3 less passing yards than Tua. Like crazy enough, Denver's offense the last 2 games has actually been okay. They still lose.
But the thing that they were supposed to be already good at has not been good. The defense has been crap the last 2 weeks.
That's just what happens when you change defensive coordinators. I mean, the Broncos, their last year's defensive coordinator is defensive coordinator for the Dolphins. And who they have now? Is it Vance Joseph they have now?
The Panthers. Ejiro Evero was.
That's right.
Was the Bronco. Vic Fangio was before, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But yeah, I mean, holy cow. This is bad.
Yeah. But yeah, Russ, like I said, not bad. Like
Russ kind of good.
Winnable stat line: 23 of 38, 60.5%, 306, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. You can win games with that stat line. Just not against a team that scores 70 on your defense.
Not when you give up 70, but you can still win.
And let's talk about the running backs that just went wild. Dolphins running back Devon Achane. 18 carries, 203 yards, 11.3 per rush, 2 touchdowns. All right. You're like, all right. But then 4 catches, 30 yards, another 2 touchdowns.
Imagine being a running back and every time you got the ball, you averaged getting a first down. That's like nuts. That's just absurd. Like you get the ball and you're automatically moving the chains.
Well, I don't know if you saw that one picture on Twitter that it just said like
everyone on the
epitomize the Broncos.
I saw that. It was like
Broncos behind
Achane was gone, and there's just 4 Denver Broncos on the ground. It's great.
Well, just like I'll talk about the Eagles in a little bit, but just like the Eagles, I mean, the holes that these guys were running through were you could put 2 trucks in between them and still have room. I mean, they were just massive. The offensive line.
I could get 5 yards of that space. I'm like, holy cow.
And the no look that Tua threw to Achane, I mean, that was just dirty.
That was dirty.
I
love all the tweets. It's like, if Patrick Mahomes did this, the president would be calling a national emergency so everyone could see.
But yeah, Raheem Mostert also 13 carries, 82 yards, just 6.3 yards. Very disappointing.
They should trade him to the Vikings for a 7th-round pick.
3 touchdowns on the ground, 7 receptions, 60 yards, another touchdown on 7 targets. Okay, are you ready for more? Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill led the game in receiving. 9 catches, 157 yards, a touchdown, 11 targets. And what else we got? Broncos rookie wide receiver Marvin Mims, pretty good day. 3 catches, 73 yards, 5 targets. Oh, and he put up a 99-yard kick return touchdown. Defensively, how about Emmanuel Ogbah for the Dolphins? 3 tackles, 1 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass selection, 1 QB hit, 1 interception. And I am disappointed that Tyreek is not leading the league in receiving right now.
It's still Jefferson, right?
Yeah, that bastard.
That rat bastard.
412 for Tyreek, 458 for JJ. Keenan Allen, 3rd, 402 after his big day, which we're going to in a couple slides.
Yeah.
Dolphins cover this one a little bit, -6. And over 47.5.
I want to emphasize something for our listeners that we'll probably get to more later. Broncos lost by 50. They are still favorites next week against the Bears. Next week is going to be the worst game you have ever seen.
Should be, as they should be. From a 90-point game to a 25-point game. Patriots 15-10 over the Jets. This is what happens when you get Patriots Jets. But this is okay. So you just talked about that game this weekend. This coming weekend is over under 25 points.
Woo! Let's go. What's the over under on interceptions? I think it's like 7.
No, but anyways, Mac Jones, they almost gave this game away, by the way.
They did.
15-29 for Mac, 51.7%, 201, 1 touchdown, 4 carries, 13 yards. And I am very scared, as I was when Rodgers went down, of my future bet that I have for the Patriots finish last in this division, because the offense is a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and the Jets suck.
But don't worry. Jets got Trevor Siemian. They're coming back.
Zach Wilson, though, 18-36, 50%, 157. Like I said, though, he did almost lead them back. They had a chance. Anyway,
I mean, he didn't turn the ball over. He wasn't awful. I mean, he kept them in.
The defense kept them in.
He kept them from being destroyed.
How about a vintage Zeke Elliott performance in this game? 16 carries, 80 yards, 7-yard reception as well. We got fullbacks scoring touchdowns. Nick Baldwin for the Jets, 1-yard rushing touchdown. We also have other weird players scoring touchdowns in this game. Patriots tight end Pharaoh Brown, who I didn't even know he was on the team. 2 receptions, 71 yards, a touchdown on 2 targets to lead the game in receiving. This is an odd game.
Dude, it's Patriots Jets. It's always just the weirdest crap ever. Like last year, wasn't it like 3-0?
Yeah, it was
something like that. It was an awful game.
Defensive player of the game, Patriots linebacker Matt Judon, easily 4 tackles, 2 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. Patriots -2.5 covered, under 35.5. That's sad. 35.5, bro. How do you go under?
They find a way.
I don't know who lone wolfed the Commanders.
I beats me. Couldn't imagine who would think Sam Howell would throw the ball against this Bills defense.
37-30 Bills win. And they forced me. They are the reason why I lost my fantasy matchup, because I played against the Bills defense. 32 points, by the way. Josh Allen, 20 of 32, 62.5%, 218, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 3 carries, 46 yards rushing score. Sam Howell struggled a little bit, 19 of 29, 65.5%, 174 picks, 18-yard rush as well. This was almost Nathan Peterman territory here. 4 interceptions. But anyways, Bills running back James Cook, just shy of 100, 15 carries, 98 yards, 2 catches for 14 yards. Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs, big day, 8 catches, 111 yards on 12 targets. And defensively, pick your Buffalo Bill.
You know, I'm going to go with Terrell Bernard. He looked good. Full game, couple sacks, got an interception, got to the QB. I'm taking him.
7 tackles, 5 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass deflection, 2 QB hits, a pick. I am impartial to defensive touchdown, so I am going with Bills defensive end AJ Epinesa. 1 tackle, it was a solo. 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 1 QB hit, 32-yard pick 6. That was
ones across the board.
very, very sad to watch. Bills -5 covered under 44. That's the crazy thing, bro. The Bills scored 37. Over bettors are like, bro, we got this in the bag. And
take it to the bank.
Then Commanders score 3. Lions. I don't know who would have lone wolfed the Falcons on this one, but
surely no one here.
Lions.
Listen, we all make mistakes in the heat of passion. Right?
The vibes were not on again.
The vibes weren't there. I was hoping Ritter would just like have a decent game, and he just didn't.
Jared Goff, 22 of 33, 66.7%, 243, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 1 rushing touchdown. Desmond Ritter, 21 of 38, 55.3%, 201, 1 fumble. Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs, nice day, 17 carries, 80 yards, 1 reception for 2 yards. I was surprised that Gibbs really didn't have receiving numbers in this game, with being the guy for the first game in his career after the Montgomery injury last week. I know people were pissed probably about Bijan's fantasy performance, but I like it. I'm against Bijan in all facets. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. I did not like his performance because another player I was playing against this weekend. 9 for 102, 12 targets. Another big day for rookie tight end Sam Laporta, 8 catches, 84 yards, touchdown on 11 targets. I think it's safe to say just 3 games in that the Lions have hit on another Iowa tight end.
I think I got to take him off my reserve list on a dynasty and just bring him in. I got Zay Flowers and Sam Laporta in one draft. I mean, I'm still dead last in my league, but listen, the rebuild's going all right. Yeah,
I'm thinking about the same soon with Tank Dell. Mm-hmm. I need running backs more than I need receivers, though.
Yeah.
Anyways, defensive player of the game, there was a lot of great performances in this one as well. I'm going to go with Lions defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, 4 tackles, 3 solos, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections, and a QB hit. He also recovered a fumble, I believe. Lions -3.5 covered under 47. Go, Pack, go. Packers. What a comeback by Mr. Love. 18-17 over the Saints in Green Bay. You're down 17-0 at start of 4th quarter. You're like, bro, this is it. Like, Packers are done. They're going to go to 1-2. Season might be over. But no, here comes Jordan Love. And really, it was very fitting to watch Jameis Winston flounder on the other side. Once Derek Carr went down, that was it. The Saints were done. Jordan Love offense woke up, 22 of 44, 50%, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 9 carries, 39 yards, touchdown on the ground. Derek Carr, before he got injured, 13 of 18, 72.2%, 103, 1 touchdown. He was carving the Packers up. Jameis Winston, 10 of 16, 62.5%, 101. Running back Kendry Miller, rookie third rounder at TCU, got the start and led the game in rushing outside of Jordan Love. 9 carries, 34 yards, and 1 reception, 0 yards. Saints wide receiver Chris Olave led the game in receiving. 8 catches, 104 on 11 targets. Romeo Doubs for the Packers having a big target day as well. 5 catches, 73 yards, touchdown on 12 targets. And how about Jimmy Graham getting in the end zone? Is this 2011 all over again? Or whatever it was? I don't even remember. I was going to go further back than that, but I was like, oh, wait, Jimmy Graham's not that old.
No.
I was going to go 08. I was like, nah, he's not that old.
I don't think he was on the Saints. Was he on the Saints Super Bowl team? That was 2009, 2010.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
But bro, I'm giving everyone other than Pete Warner defensive player of the game down here because it was solid. Corner Alontae Taylor for the Saints, 5 tackles, all of them solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, QB hit. His counterpart on the other side, corner Isaac Yiadom, 5 tackles, 3 solos, 4 pass deflections. And then Rashawn Gary just ate Jameis Winston in the fourth quarter. 3 tackles, all of them solos, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits. And oh, by the way, for the Saints, no receptions on 2 targets for Rashid Shaheed, but 76-yard punt return touchdown. He did that very well at Weber State as also. Packers plus 1.5 win outright under 41.5. How about the Texans crushing the Jags? 37-17. CJ Stroud went wild, 20 of 30, 66.7%, 280, 2 touchdowns, 3 carries for 14 yards. And the Jags just didn't get out of their own way, turned the ball over a couple times. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence, 27 of 40, 67.5%, 279, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 3 carries for 12 yards. Very happy about the day for Jaguars running back Travis Etienne Jr. Got me a lot of fantasy points. 19 carries, 88 yards, 4 catches, 50 yards on 5 targets to lead the game in rushing. I was disappointed, though, just like Josh Downs. I would have started Dameon Pierce over Najee Harris. Would have won my matchup, but I did not, and I am now 2-1. I hated, though, Tank Bigsby. Bro, why are you vulturing touchdowns from Etienne like that, dude?
It's hurtful.
And, yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say Tank Dell has arrived. Back-to-back massive days for Dell. 5 for 145, a touchdown on 7 targets in this game. And I was loving my garbage time Christian Kirk fantasy points because he did not do anything until that time, really. He had like 1 catch most of the game and then caught the touchdown late, which was great to see. Defensively, I'm going to go with Texans linebacker Blake Cashman, 6 tackles, 3 solos, 2 pass deflections, and a pick. How about the first ever fullback kick return touchdown for Andrew Beck of the Texans? 85-yard kick return touchdown to the house. Love to see that.
That's new.
Texans plus 7.5. They went outright over 43.5. How about Texans and Colts this weekend? Both winning outright as 7.5-point dogs.
The powerhouses of the AFC South, as we all assumed.
Well, those are the top 2 teams now in the AFC South. Colts number 1, Texans 2. Yeah. Texans by points over the Jags, I believe. Chargers getting their first win, 28-24. It's over. Vikings are done.
It's done.
Pick it up.
I mean, I said last week. I mean,
Trade
on
everyone.
Friday, it's over.
Trade everyone.
Trade them all.
You can probably get 4 first-round picks for Justin Jefferson. So.
Oh, whoa! Well, we don't touch him.
I mean,
but Kirk.
You're not going to get anything for Kirk. You're not going to get anything.
I mean, I don't know. Jets are desperate.
They don't have the assets anymore.
Patriots.
The Patriots won't do it. Anyways, my MVP pick showing up again. I mean, he's showing up every single week. The Chargers defense just sucks, and he doesn't help him out. But how about Justin Herbert blowing the Vikings up? 40 of 47 because they can't run the ball. Josh Kelly sucks. Please, dear Lord, Austin Eckler, be back this week for my fantasy team and for the Chargers in real life. 85.1% for Herbs. 405, 3 touchdowns, 2 carries, 11 yards, and just a little bit of luck on the game-winning touchdown for Mr. Palmer.
Just a little.
I mean, if you catch the ball, like that's
the epitome of the Vikings right there. That's just what it is to be a Vikings fan. It's like, easy interception. Nah. Too easy.
Kirk, though, he did light up the Chargers as well. 32 of 50, 64%, 367, 3 touchdowns. Crucial pick, though, that ended the game. 10-yard rush as well for Kirk. And one side actually did what I said was going to happen in this game, which was run the ball. Both defenses sucked at running rush defense. At least the Vikings showed that I was right on one side because Alexander Madison led the game in rushing. Good day, 20 carries, 93 yards, 5 catches, 32 yards on 7 targets. Those other 2 targets are ones he probably wants to have back. One of them was a touchdown. He dropped right along the sideline. I was like,
did.
I was like, bro, it's a touchdown.
Sure did. Surely that touchdown didn't mean much to the final end, right?
I could not believe that he dropped that. And a big part of Justin Herbert's day was Keenan Allen, who, bro, I was so mad. I thought he was going to break the record. He kept it's like, bro, every time Herbert dropped back, 13's open, 13 again, 13 again. Okay. The Vikings didn't realize that, like, they had to cover number 13, I guess.
Oh, no, they did. They just can't because they suck. Like, what else is there to say? They are not good. And the only people that matter on this team are, like, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, and TJ Hockenson. Everyone else can just, like, F off. Like, I'm just so effing tired of it.
Keenan Allen, though, 18 receptions, 215 yards, 20 targets on the day. And, oh, by the way,
I saw it.
He threw a 49-yard touchdown to Mike Williams.
I saw it. Every Viking just decided to bite on a clearly about
3 or 4 yards behind Herbert.
Clearly behind Herbert, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta go," and just.
JJ, though, did have a big game. 7 for 149, a touchdown on 13 targets. R.I.P. Mike Williams. He had a great game, but loss overall for him. 7 for 121, touchdown on 8 targets. We'll talk about that in a bit. But double-digit targets for TJ Hockenson. This one as well, 8 for 78 on 11 targets and a fumble. Josh Palmer catching the game winner. And Donald Parham Jr. catching 2 touchdowns on his 2 targets. Defensively, I am going to go with Chargers linebacker Tuli Tuipulotu. He was eating the Vikings up most of the day. Good second-round pick out of USC. 4 tackles, all of them solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 4 QB hits. Chargers in a pick'em game. They covered under 52.5 by the hook. Seahawks 37-27 over the Panthers. Yeah, man, I was disappointed. I thought the Red Rifle, I mean, he had a day.
He had a great game.
In Seattle. It just was not enough. The Panthers defense let him up. Couldn't stop Kenneth Walker. Couldn't stop timely third down conversions from Geno to DK. And yeah, I'm excited for Andy Dalton. Hate that Bryce Young's not out right now. But I think we're going to have another week of Dalton because Reich said 1 to 2 weeks for Young's ankle. So I think we're going to get another Red Rifle game this weekend. Hopefully we can get our first win. Yes. But Andy Dalton, 34 of 58, 58.6%, 361, 2 touchdowns, 2 carries, 11 yards. Geno, 23 of 36, 63.9%, 296, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Oh, yeah, by the way, Dalton, career high in attempts, 58. Did not know he was going to throw that many. That's because they couldn't run the ball. Surprisingly, Seattle's run defense actually stood up for once. But I was pissed. Kenneth Walker, the third. The Panthers defense was holding him in check for most of the game. In the second half, they kind of just wore down, and the 2 touchdowns really hurt. The big reception at the end also really hurt fantasy-wise. But, yeah, Walker, 18 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 59 yards. Big days for Panthers wide receiver Adam Thielen, bro. This is like vintage Thielen this game. 11 receptions, 145 yards, touchdown on 14 targets. There you go. Vikings Thielen there.
Yeah.
Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf, like I said, big day for him as well. 6 for 112 on 8 targets. And then DJ Chark, double-digit targets for him. 4 catches, 86 yards, touchdown on 11 targets. Defensively, I got to go with Brian Burns, number 0, Spider-Man. He's having a good season. 4 tackles, 3 solos, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. Seahawks minus 4.5 covered, over 43 easily. Logan was right, bro.
What does Logan know?
I don't know. He trading insider information. Something like that. I was so pissed though. I didn't realize I got eliminated now from ESPN's game because I picked the Cowboys in their eliminator challenge. It's fantastic. And I don't know why they're emailing me, say it's time to make your pick. I'm like, bro, I got eliminated. Like, I can't make a pick.
It's over.
Literally, it will not let me make a pick, even if I wanted to. But yeah, so Cardinals 28-16 over the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott 25 of 40, 62.5%, 249, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 3 carries, 24 yards. Joshua Dobbs just super efficient, 17 of 21, 81%, 189, 1 touchdown, 6 carries, 55 yards. His legs were paramount in this win here. Also, Joshua Dobbs jerseys are now available on NFL Shop. You can go get your number 9 jerseys.
Thank goodness.
Tony Pollard, big day on the ground, even in the loss. 23 carries, 122 yards, 3 receptions, minus 1 yard. I was super hyped. James Conner continues to produce in fantasy for me. I am loving it. 14 carries, 98 yards, a touchdown, 2 receptions for 18 yards. How about the resurgence of Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup from nowhere? Like,
I have him on the fantasy team. I started him today because Waddle was out, and he did his job.
6 catches, 92 yards on 7 targets. Lead the game in receiving. And defensively, I am going to go with Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, 5 tackles, 4 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. Kaiser White, though, also very good game. Former Eagle. Cardinals, plus 11 win outright. Total of 44 pushed.
Woo!
Chiefs, 41-10 over the Bears. There was a certain celebrity in attendance in this game.
Where's her stat line? Oh, that blank space at the bottom. I get it.
Oh, there it is.
Blank space. That's what you're
yeah, bro. I thought this was. I told someone this week, yesterday, I was like, bro, I thought this Chiefs game was about to be a Dolphins repeat.
Like, it really could have been. It really could have been. But you could tell Chiefs came out at halftime like, whatever.
Yeah, they pulled Mahomes like with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter or something like that.
Yeah, Gabbert had 2 picks.
Yeah, Gabbert played like crap.
Yeah, but if those 2 picks become just field goals, it's not like 47. Maybe even higher.
But Mahomes, yeah, he was lights out. 24 of 33, 72.7%, 272, 3 touchdowns, 3 carries for 28 yards. Mentioned Gabbert coming in then, 3 of 5, 60%, 31 yards, 2 picks. Justin Fields sucks. Like I told you, Pete does. I've been telling you this since he got drafted. He's not.
Hey, you don't have to convince me. I've known this for a very long time. I can't. It's one thing I want to tell Bears fans: you deserve this. You deserve this. You talked like you had the worst record in the league last year. You talked like you were Super Bowl contenders. You didn't talk like, ooh, we could go like 8-9 and really like turn it around for 2025, like 2024 and 2025. If you're talking like that, and like I'd been like, all right, fine. You were talking about running away with the division. That this division was wide open for you, that you could do it. Justin Fields was going to come out, have the year of a lifetime. Look how we revamped this offense. We got him we got Justin Fields weapons. And it's just like, Justin Fields is bad. He's been bad. He's not good at the quarterback position. He can't read a defense. He hasn't been able to read a defense his entire life. He couldn't read a defense at Ohio State, and he went to the worst possible team to be developed into a quarterback. Why on earth were you guys talking like a 12 and like a team that was going to go like 12-5 and make a run for the NFC conference? This team would be lucky to get 6 wins.
I have them with 4.
I think they maybe get 5.
I have them getting the number 1 pick again, probably.
Probably 1 and 2, probably.
I have them tied with the Cardinals at 4 and 13.
But yeah, it's just we saw this coming a mile away. Like, you had to be delusional to think Justin Fields, like, he didn't make any improvements between year 1 and year 2. If you don't make it like improvements after year 1, what makes me think you're going to make improvements after year 2? Like,
and I love it.
Dude, just give me take a dinner break. I'm going to be here. I'm going to go on an hour-long rant.
Fields
on the Bears.
Fields, 11 of 22, 50%, 99 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 11 carries for 47 yards. Nice day for Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 receptions for 16 yards. I was pissed, though. Why did Clyde Edwards-Helaire get the same amount of touches? Stop, Andy Reid. Give number 10 all the carries. We don't need CEH anymore. It's fine. You spent a first-round pick. Just admit your mistake. Move on. Your guy, Chiefs running back Jerick McKinnon, to catching 2 touchdowns on the day. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce leading the game in receiving, 7 for 69, 1 touchdown, 8 targets. And defensively, we're going to go with Chiefs defensive end Mike Dana, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB hit. Chiefs minus 12.5 covered. See, Cowboys, that's how you cover a 12.5 point spread, by the way. Just if you wanted to understand how, Dallas.
First half of win.
Over 48.5 covers, thankfully. See, Gabbert was just doing his due diligence for the overbetters.
Yeah, he
needed to give the Bears some short fields to give them some points so that the over could hit. Yeah, that's what Gabbert was really doing. He had the over in that game. What can you do? And it was legal because he bet it outside of the team facility. Sunday Night Football. Yes, sir. Steelers 23-18 over the Raiders. They made it harder than it had to be.
You forgot one thing. You got Josh McDaniels coaching. Yeah, none in the sweat. We had Josh.
I was getting really pissed at the end of the game. I was like, bro, what are we doing? This was 23-7. It was 23-7.
But it's Josh McDaniels. You don't no need to sweat, man. It's Josh McDaniels. He'll find a way. He always does.
And I loved the field goal decision. But
great decision.
The thing is, though, that he did it twice. He kicked the field goal, and then they're like leverage, which I thought was the biggest BS call. I did not see DeMarvin Leal put his hands anywhere on the Raiders player to help himself jump. I didn't see the penalty. And then the refs are calling all kinds of stuff. Like they're calling the freaking roughing the passer that concussed Jimmy G, where Minkah Fitzpatrick's helmet barely touched his head. And, then they're calling pass interference and whatnot. And I'm like, bro, the refs are not on right now. But, yeah. And then the fact that they had the leverage call, ran a couple more plays, and then he kicked the field goal again, like 2 minutes later. I'm like, bruh, have you not watched your defense all night? Like, Kenny Pickett's shredding them up.
Josh McDaniels and Brandon Staley are just fantastic game managers. Best I've ever seen do it.
But Jimmy G, though, 28 of 44, 63.6%, 324, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Kenny Pickett, this was the best he's looked this season, and I'm very excited. The Steelers are starting to get on track, get that running game going, and getting the play action, getting Kenny on the move. He had some really beautiful throws, rollouts, especially to the left where he threw the touchdown to Pat Freiermuth. The short left rollouts are looking real nice on the Pittsburgh offense. And Matt Canada is safe for another week. I mean, he had a good game plan in this one. So
Pickett isn't safe, though.
Yeah. 60 to 28, 57.1%, 235, 2 touchdowns, 3 carries, 11 yards. Najee Harris, despite the average, looked a lot better. And like they were talking about during the game, the offensive line, they went back to Steelers football and not just running zone runs. They were getting the double teams up to the linebackers and making it a lot easier on the running back. So 19 for 65 for Najee Harris, leading the game in rushing. Devontae Adams just is him. 13 catches, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns on 20 targets. Jacoby Myers, big target day for him. 7 catches, 85 yards on 12 targets. And defensively, how about 2 guys? Levi Wallace, he was excellent in this game. 6 tackles, 4 solos, 4 pass deflections, 2 picks for the Steelers corner. And then, of course, the man, Mr. Watt, TJ Watt. 2 tackles, both of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. I have to think he is the league leader. If he's not, he's close. Yes, he is. Leading by 1 over your boy. TJ Watt has 6 sacks this year. Your boy is second. Your Minnesota Viking.
Not bad.
Daniil Hunter with 5.
I think your screen you're a little frozen on my end.
Yes, everything is frozen over here. Which is great. That's to see.
I mean, the stream chose a very good facial expression for you to be frozen on. I mean, it's very flattering.
Yeah. That works. Don't know if it will. But anyways.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, they're stuck with my pretty face. It'll be all
right. At least you can hear me and the sound hasn't gone away, so that's good.
Oh, we're good there. I mean,
but all right. Okay. What happened now? Oh, okay, here we go. Hey, we're back.
Oh, all right.
I don't know what happened. I don't know why my what's happening with my thing, but
Oh, I'm by myself. Oh, he's back. Oh.
I don't know what's happening with my camera right now, but it's all right.
All right.
Whatever.
I just see a floating shirt on my end. Oh, just me now. Finally, I get to talk about feudalism. Oh, dang it.
I don't know what's happening with my camera, but we're just going to have my picture here anyways,
all right,
and get the little vibrating sounds around my picture when I talk. So you don't have to deal with my face anymore. It's
no,
okay.
Dude, you look so dapper, though. Nice tie.
All right. The Steelers covered +3, winning outright, and under 44. Monday Night Football, the doubleheader. First one here, go Birds. Eagles 25-11 over the Bucks, and it was a lot worse than that. I mean, the Eagles
origami
absolutely dominated. That it was, yes, first ever time 25-11 score in NFL history. But yeah, it was also a flu game. Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelce, trying to be like Mike. So, yeah, I mean, I was impressed. The Eagles played very well despite the flu symptoms, and yeah.
I mean, there's not much else to say. I mean, it was a good game for everyone on the Eagles. I mean, Hurts didn't look great. He had 2 interceptions, but I mean, that running game was fantastic. And like we mentioned earlier, their offensive line is just unreal when it comes to just making holes for the guys in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about like the rest of the league has to be scared. I mean, the Eagles aren't playing their best right now, especially offensively, and they're still 3-0. Like, it's once they get it 100%, like it's gonna be scary. And by the way, Jalen Hurts 20-1 in his last 21 games. In case anyone cared about the QB stat that shouldn't be a QB stat.
Not a QB stat.
But 23 of 37 for Hurts, 62.2%, 277, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 10 carries, 28 yards, a rushing score. Baker Mayfield turning the ball over like he hasn't done the first 2 weeks, 15 of 25, 60%, 146, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. DeAndre Swift, I mean, he is the man and continues to just eat. 16 carries, 130 yards, and an 8-yard reception as well. A.J. Brown also ate a lot in this game. First real big blowout for him. 9 receptions, 131 yards on 14 targets. I was so pissed that Mike Evans got 3 catches on the Bucks, like final drive of the game, pretty much, because that's what lost me my fantasy matchup. That combined with all the other stuff that I already mentioned.
It's not just this, but I'm just going to blame this.
Yeah, 5 for 60, a touchdown on 10 targets. Well, the Eagles were bottling him up. He had like 2 catches the whole night, and then he gets like 2 long ones. Like it was like a 16-yarder and then a 17-yarder, and then he catches the 1-yard touchdown. I was like, bro, like I had it. I was there. Burrow wasn't playing very good, and I was like, bro, I'm in. I'm still winning. And then it happened. Anyways, defensively, I am going to go with the top guy there, Bucks linebacker Levante David, 13 tackles, 9 solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB hit. Eagles -6 covered, under 44. The other Monday Night Football game, Bengals 19-16 over the Rams. Man, bro, I was so close. So close.
Yet so far.
Matthew Stafford, 18 of 33, 54.5%, 269, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. It's a miracle he even completed 18 passes because he had negative 5 seconds every play. The Rams,
they might as well have been starting offsides. They
literally could not block anyone, especially Trey Hendrickson, and it was bad. But Stafford, he brought him back. He had a chance. It was an absolutely horrid onside kick opportunity from Brett Maher. It almost didn't go 10 yards, and it was like moving like 1 mile an hour. It was so bad. But yeah, Joe Burrow did play in this game. did not re-aggravate his calf. 26 of 49, 53.1%, 259, one pick. Joe Mixon led the game in rushing for the Bengals, 19 carries, 65 yards, a touchdown, and a 5-yard reception. Big night for Jamar Chase, 12 catches, 141 yards on 15 targets. And kind of like the Bills game, pick your Cincinnati Bengal for defensive player of the game.
I mean, Trey Hendrickson, I think, is the obvious choice here. I mean, 2 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. That Trey Hendrickson was just, I think the stat line doesn't do him complete justice. I mean, he was on Stafford every drop back.
Yeah, Aaron Donald also had a good game for LA there. Bengals -3 pushed under 45.5. NFL news, or USFL news. Philadelphia Stars re-signing Gabriel Sewell, good linebacker for them. NFL, how about future international games expected to be played in Spain and Brazil? So
that's very interesting.
The Spain one I knew was coming down the pipe eventually. Brazil, I don't think I had heard of before. So Brazil is kind of a weird one. But yeah, trying to get into.
I think football's like really big and really getting big in Brazil.
Yeah,
it's starting to really hit South American markets, which begs the question: where else could they possibly go? I'm trying to think of other places. I'm thinking a really interesting place to me would be Tokyo.
They really need to get into the Chinese Japanese market because football is really big there.
Yeah, I would say Tokyo is a good one. Beijing would be a good one. Sydney, Australia would be a good one. This may be a weird one, but like Cape Town, South Africa would be kind of cool. All the way to South Africa. They do Germany and London. So I mean, and they already did Mexico.
Yeah.
So I mean, China and Japan would be great markets. Australia would be interesting. Cape Town would be a stretch, but I think they could make that work.
Well, how about we got the Super Bowl halftime show, Super Bowl 58 halftime. Usher. When I heard it, I was like, bro, like, when's the last time the Usher put out a song?
I was about to say, like, man, this has been really exciting for 8-year-old Jimmy to hear.
Like, yeah, bro, like I don't think he's put out a hit since 2008.
I mean, he could do this right and just have a huge, just like throwback concert. Like if he does this right, you just do a ton of throwbacks.
I mean, first off, I think just starting the concert, like he hasn't even started the concert right, and I already think it's better than Rihanna. Rihanna was like the worst halftime performance I've ever watched. So
I've really stopped caring about the halftime performances. It's just, to me, it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Like it'll never be.
But like the LA one was fantastic.
The LA one was fun.
Loved the LA one 2 years ago. But yeah, last year sucked. Rihanna was absolutely trash. And I don't know how people said that she was good because she was not.
From what I've heard, it's been very like you either really liked Rihanna or you just really didn't. There's like no in between. Well, except for me, I really just don't care.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm hoping that unlike she did, he actually brings other performers like literally everyone else in Super Bowl halftime history has done.
Yeah, you have to be a massive name.
Like you have to bring at least one guest.
Yeah.
Like
you have to be a massive name to do it by yourself because it's a long set to do by yourself. I think the last 2 really good solo performers that I can think of off the top of my head were like Prince and Michael Jackson. Like if I'm Usher, I'm calling everyone big, hey, listen, let's do this together. Like, because Usher is like, even his good songs are just like filled with like features of other artists.
Bro, well, he better be bringing out Lil Jon.
And Luda,
and they better be playing Why is his name all caps on Spotify? I don't understand.
Because he just needs he's
When did he
Usher.
do that? When did
It's
he
not
do
just
that?
Usher.
Oh, DJ got us falling in love. Bring out Pitbull.
Ooh, Mr. Worldwide. You know what? You get Mr. Worldwide. It's a great concert.
OMG, bring out Will I Am. Yeah.
You got to get Pitbull. You got to get Pitbull. If you don't have Pitbull, it's not going to be a good time. Pitbull's great.
I'm just here for Girl Let Me Love You. And I will love you. Yeah.
The
But
benefit of the audience, I will also not be singing. So
right. IR here. Texans placed corner Derek Stingley Jr. with a hamstring injury on IR. Saints doing the same with running back Jamal Williams with the exact same injury. Big loss for the Jets. They placed left tackle Dwayne Brown on IR. I did not see what his injury was. I think it's ankle. Not exactly sure, though. So, yeah, Mekhi Becton back to the left side there in New York. Injuries. Good news for Browns running back Nick Chubb, believed to only have torn his MCL, which is kind of crazy after the hit that he took. 6 to 8 month recovery. There could still be a tear in his ACL, but they won't know that until they actually do surgery. They're just waiting for the swelling to go down and whatnot so they can do surgery on it. So, yeah, we won't know until after he has surgery on his MCL if they also had to repair his ACL.
Yeah. Genuinely shocked. Like, if he somehow escapes what was just an ugly injury to watch with just a torn MCL and like a stretched ACL, and holy crap, count him lucky.
He would have had to had the stretchiest ACL in human history.
Like that bent inward. Like that was just not fun to look at.
Yeah, and it was clearly MCL tear.
Oh, very clearly. Like
the ACL was a little tougher inside the knee. Seahawks safety Jamal Adams coming back from his torn quad from last year, looking like he might play, might make his season debut on Monday night against the Giants there. Saints guard Cesar Ruiz, he is in concussion protocol. The Saints are just not having a great time right now because quarterback Derek Carr mentioned his injury. He has an AC sprain. Likely going to be out this week, officially week to week. So probably going to be Jameis against his old team when the Saints play the Bucs. And Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo also in concussion protocol. Not sure what that means. I know there's been a discussion of who it's going to be if Jimmy can't go this week. Aiden O'Connell, Brian Hoyer, not really sure. I would play Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, I would play O'Connell. I mean, he played really well in the preseason.
Right.
And, yeah.
And I mentioned Mike Williams for the Chargers, out for the year, torn ACL, unfortunately. Couple of releases. The Colts, they released running back Deion Jackson. Luckily for him, he landed right on his feet in a great situation in Denver.
Oh, man.
The Broncos signed Deion Jackson to their practice squad today. The Saints, they released wide receiver Traquan Smith from IR, so he is a free agent. Let's get some money here. The Saints, talking a lot of Saints today. They signed defensive end Carl Granderson to a 4-year, $52 million extension, $35.3 million guaranteed. And yeah, Granderson's having a fantastic season so far for New Orleans, really giving them a bookend to Cam Jordan. So, definitely deserved. Couple signings here. I mentioned the Deion Jackson signing. You mentioned the Jets signing Bears quarterback Trevor Siemian there to their practice squad. And what do you know? Another Saints news item. They signed Panthers quarterback Jake Luton off of the Panthers practice squad. They signed him to their 53-man. So just some insurance if Carr can't play this week, it'll be Jameis and then backed up by Taysom Hill and Jake Luton. And a couple workouts here. The Steelers worked out Browns quarterback Kellen Mond. The Colts, they worked out Cowboys running back Ronald Jones. And the Seahawks, they worked out, I don't even remember what team he was on last, Tavon Austin. And then XFL to NFL, the Bengals pregame there, or a couple days before last night's game, they signed Battlehawks quarterback AJ McCarron back to where it all started.
Let's go.
In the practice squad. So love me some AJ McCarron. And there's 3 college football games on Thursday. Mid Tennessee, the Blue Raiders 1-3 at Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. They're 2-2. WKU 5.5-point favorites at home. 60.5 is the total there. I like the over. 7:30 CBS Sports. Second game here, Temple 2-2. The Owls at the Golden Hurricanes of Tulsa, also 2-2. 3.5 points for Tulsa at home. 54.5 is the total there. I like the under in that game. 7:30 on ESPN. And then last one here, a Conference USA matchup. Jacksonville State 3-1 Gamecocks, 6.5-point favorites on the road at the 0-3 Sam Houston State Bearcats. Total is a ridiculous 36.5.
Ugh.
Like, bro, what is that?
That's gross.
So I do like the under, though. I don't believe in Sam Houston's offense. That's the biggest thing.
I think the final score will be like 17-2. They'll be
8 p.m. on ESPNU.
Whoa.
Pick standings here. Yep, we're all in lockstep again. Last week, we all got the Niners right. So we're all holding strong at 2-1 on the year. We are not in lockstep. First Thursday night lone wolf of the season, and it goes to Mr. O'Malley.
Goes to me.
Lions, 1-point favorite or 1.5-point favorites at the Packers Thursday night.
I had to finally give in and pick the Lions at some point.
I will be there, sir, and the Packers are not going to lose that game.
I won't be there, and the Packers might. It's going to be a good game. I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be a very closely fought defensive battle between teams. A couple breaks for both offenses, where both of them will probably break off a couple big plays to help cut into the deficit of just like tough defensive stands. But yeah, I mean, I like the Lions in this one. I think they've been playing just super well this entire year. Even when they lost, they were in it with Seattle. And sure, Packers are the home team, but if Derek Carr doesn't go down, they're 1-2. You know, they really did benefit from the Derek Carr injury. And I mean, even then, they won because the guy missed a very makeable field goal. I mean, I got to go with Lions on this one.
Yeah, I think the Packers are going to take a lot of momentum from that win into this game. Big divisional game. Winner takes first place. And also, Packers are getting reinforcements. I believe both Christian Watson and Aaron Jones are going to play in this game. Aaron Jones I'm more confident in because I think he was close this weekend, but they just wanted to hold him out because of the short week going into Thursday. And it was a bigger game being in division. So I think Aaron Jones definitely back. Christian Watson hopefully is back as well. Not really sure about their other injuries, Bakhtiari or Jair Alexander. But, yeah, I'm super hyped to see a game in Green Bay. It's going to be a good one. And tickets that we got were actually better than the ones we purchased. So that was always cool.
Not bad.
But yeah, total is 45. I like the under in this game. I think it's lower scoring divisional battle, like a 20-17 type of game.
Classic NFC North kind of battle.
Yeah, 8:15 on Prime Video. that is a show for today. A little bit long, but got through it. NFL Week 5 next Tuesday. Talking Bears, Commanders. It's going to be a riveting Thursday night game next week. But we'll get you recapped on all the action from college football Week 5, NFL Week 4 next Tuesday. And we'll also preview that game, like I mentioned. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on X and Instagram, FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on Facebook, YouTube, and X, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and TikTok at Football Addicts Anon. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all back on Football Friday.